All right, a little extra nerdles for everybody. Phil, last year we did a New Year's resolution, so I'm going to read these off to you, and we can just see kind of and we'll do new resolutions as well. But we can just see how much the channel has changed and how much our priorities for the channel have changed in that year.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited to see what past Phil said and how much of a liar he was.
Yeah, you actually did a little bit better than I did. So my first resolution was to 5-0 a league. Did that happen?
Did you not? I thought you did.
I did not.
That never
5-0
happened?
a league. No, I didn't play as much. We did so much more content this year. We like doubled down on content and went to we do 5 days of content now. We were doing 5 days of content for all of December, and I didn't expect that to keep going. So then we did 5 days of content all the way through the year, basically. So we did an entire year of like an episode every single weekday. So 5-0ing a league was just a thing I did not have time to even attempt to do. So no, we did not 5-0 a league.
Are we we're the only podcast that does daily content of like us and not gameplay, right? Like there's a couple of daily content episodes, but not daily like conversation episodes.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's pretty sweet.
So number 2 was yours, and these are back and forth for the most part. So this one was yours. Flesh out EternalDurdles.com, which I think you've done.
I think we've done, and we're I would say partially on that one in that like it certainly is way more fleshed out than it was. It didn't exist.
It didn't exist.
We did the resolution. Yeah. Whereas now it's like it's got some hum and some churn and like some refinement to be done coming into 2020. Added Sorcery as written content as well, so we added a second game, and we dabbled in a couple of other games, but we got a ton of Magic content throughout. And anybody listening, you are always welcome. You're always welcome to be published and get your ideas out there on EternalDurdles.com. And hopefully it'll expand and get a lot better and be more of a hub. I know there's a couple of different places where you can get various content, but they're typically behind paywalls. Like every other place that I know of that does Eternal content to some degree is paywalled to a degree. And our goal is to get sponsors that we believe in to put ads that are both tasteful and not distracting to the content in 2026. I'm doing my best to ensure that
we'll talk about our 2026 goals as time goes on. But I would say that this is a yes.
That is
we did this. You know,
it is a check. Yeah, we'll give that one a win.
Here's one that I put in: a tournament series sponsored by us. We did not do that. That did not happen.
We weren't too far off,
I still kind of would like to do, but it's not. I don't think it's where my brain lies at this moment.
So we were leaning on towards doing something, and I was actually getting in closer conversations to do something for Premiere when we started leaning hard on getting Premiere content, which I am still very much intrigued by. And then we were like, at that time, we were a bit overloaded with the travel with
Sorcery content,
putting out enough content, ensuring that we didn't like miss any content while we were traveling. And so we sort of just like overburdened ourselves. I got laid off from my job.
Yeah, so things we did not expect to have happen.
Yeah, there was a couple of life things that had like occurred that we needed to overcome, but we were on target for that before life hit us in the face. So that one's a halvesies, because I don't think we entirely dropped the ball on there. We didn't go all the way with it because other things happened, but we weren't oblivious to it.
Here's another one. So you had said K followers, subscribers on our on YouTube, which was insane, and I said that at the time. I said 5K, which I also think was a bit overdoing it. But if we combine our Sorcery channel and our Magic the Gathering channel, Phil, we have I think 4,500, but 37 and 700, so 4,400, which is close to my estimate.
He's 37 on Magic. Not bad, not the goal, but the goal was very high.
The goal was triple for you what we had. So
you gotta strive.
That was insane.
Always be striving.
So there's that. The next goal was set by me. Win a challenge. That did not happen for the same reasons that 5-0 a league did not happen. Top 8 a major event, Phil.
So congratulations, Zach. You won both Eternal weekends that we went to.
No,
that's a huge deal.
So I didn't top 8 a Magic event, but I did win a relatively large Sorcery event. I actually did top 8 a couple of like local-ish that cut to top 8 events that were legacy events at Top Deck. So I have that under my belt, but I'm going to give this a half.
And then I didn't top 8 any events. I came close. I got 12th at my first Sorcery event, but that doesn't count. That's Magic.
Actually.
This is Magic.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything with Magic.
Here's one. Of the 6 possible entries into Eternal Weekend that we could have had, we wanted 3. So that means that we would get to one Eternal Weekend and we would both enter, and then we would get to another Eternal Weekend and at least one of us would enter. We did that. We got to 4. Technically 6, or sorry, 5 if we count the fact that you played in both Vintage and Legacy. But we were able to beat our like over under on entries to Eternal Weekend. We
Yeah,
did
that
not
was
go to all 3 Eternal Weekends, but we did enter 3 Eternal Weekends.
the big shift of being able to go to Europe for an Eternal Weekend and actually get to meet all of the, or most of the players
amazing.
out there that we've been talking to online for however many years. I also think that I would put that as my highlight. I would put the Eternal Weekend Europe as the highlight of getting to meet all the players out there that we had never gotten to see in physical space before.
A bulk of our earnings this year were spent on that trip. So yeah, I would say yes, that was a highlight. All right, number 8 is to continue your goal of getting altered power. Did you get any more altered power this year?
I did not get any additional altered power. There were opportunities, but I wasn't a fan. There was either I wasn't a fan of the actual altar itself, or the asking price was just so astronomical. There's one altered Mox Pearl that floats around at all of the events. I'm trying to remember which vendor has it right now, but it's a Klug altered Mox Pearl that's altered to look like the unglued land. So it's a Mox Pearl with the unglued land behind it. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand a Klug is going to be expensive from the jump because it's an own artist and it's a vendor who has it. So there's going to be like the additional
that premium
on it being from a vendor sale as opposed to a private sale. But the crux of it is it's also signed by Chris Rush, which has nothing to do with Mox Pearl. It has nothing to do with the altar. It is
weird.
It's just a very weird signature to have, totally unrelated to. Now I'm actually going to double check right now just to make sure that I'm not.
Did he draw the land? I don't think
that's what I'm double checking because I don't think so. But I'm going to double check that way I'm not a total clown.
The planes from Unglued? I don't think so.
No. Oh, that's why he is. Oh, wow. Okay. So it's signed by Chris Rush because he did the altar for the original planes, the original Unglued planes. That makes way more sense.
So he did the art for the original Unglued.
Okay. Well, anyway, the asking price for the Mox Pearl signed by Rush and altered by Klug was $9,500.
Little tight on that.
Astronomical, and it will exist in
irresponsible if you're looking for worth as well.
Well, it's also like not only is that an astronomical number, it's also a number that will make it so that it will stay in their case forever. They will never move it.
Agreed.
I asked how low they would be willing to go on it. I was like, I mean, what I would need them to come down on would have been way too much if that's what they were hoping to get for it. But I was curious to see how low they were willing to go, and the willingness to drop anything really was kind of not there at all. I will know about that pearl's existence that I will never get. Nobody will get. It will be there forever. But knowing that it'll be there forever is also kind of fun and nice as well.
Yeah.
That like,
all right.
Just knowing where the altered moxes are.
The next one we didn't do top 32 Eternal Weekend. Neither one of us was able to pull that off. Maybe next year.
You won 2 of them.
And then the final one, Phil, was to get more involved with pre-fire. This was yours, which is funny because we did intentionally. We're sort of working on that with Premiere.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one. And we have the Premiere.com. Is that what it is? PremiereMTG.com. Like, we're working on stuff for that. And I think that'll be a focus later on in the year for us to work on some stuff for that. But Phil, so now that we've talked about the resolutions we had for last year and how close we came to all that stuff, which, hey, look, if you make any of them, I think that's pretty good. And we did a few of them. So now I want to talk about this year's resolutions. Did you put together a list of resolutions for yourself for this year?
I do. Yeah, I have a couple, and I'm ready to share and then hold future Phil accountable.
Yeah. Okay, I'll start with my first one in no particular order this time. Last time we went by hardest or like by least hard to hard. I want to upgrade some more of our equipment for the show. That's a simple one.
That's a reasonable one that we can share. Yeah.
Yeah. You're up.
My first one is to take Vintage more seriously.
Okay.
I realized that from playing Vintage in both Eternal Weekends that we went to in North America, I played another variation of the combo deck that I played last year, which was like Glaring Fleshraker combo with Tops, because Vintage is the only place where you can play Sensei's Divining Top. And so I was like, well, I want to do that. That's just like the card I enjoy most playing with the most. So how can I do that? And it was Glaring Fleshraker combo. So I did that last year, and then I did it again this year in EW. And I didn't really have much fun with it. And I was like, all right, well, I guess this will just be a meme, and that'll be that. But then I took that meme to the nth degree, played Miracles at Eternal Weekend Europe, and then found out that Countertop actually can hold its own in that format against a lot of the top decks. And I was like, oh, wow, I think there might be something here. We have a video of me covering the feature match that I was on, which I think was really, really interesting. It was against Breach PO, Luris. And it was a really intricate game with a lot of deep decisions. And it was just a ton of fun. And I realized, like, it's actually like the cards that tilt us so much in Legacy or that have been banned out of Legacy don't feel as broken in Vintage when you also get to do a thing. And so like all of the stuff that I enjoy has been banned. And so it's tough to always be on the Sisyphusian climb, right? Sisyphus?
Sisyphus is the guy, yes.
Yeah. And so I'm going to take Vintage a bit more seriously, actually show up to Eternal Weekends with a tuned list that's got some practice behind it, and maybe put in a better showing, because I have the faith.
Yeah. My next one is to work on our newsletter, which is actually a slight nod to Phil. Phil will be working on a newsletter, but
That's a cool one, yeah.
Yeah, I want to have a newsletter that goes out each week to all of our Patreon subscribers and people who are interested. That just summarizes what we've done that week. 52 a year, quick little like, hey, like if you missed it, because we're doing so much content and you can't get all of that content all the time. Like the algorithm just doesn't feed people with that content. So I think the smart thing for us to do is to summarize it each week, and then do like a best of the month at the end of the month, and then do like a best of the year at the end of the year kind of thing. But to start the Eternal Durdles newsletter, and we'll be working on that as the year goes on, and it's just another arm of the YouTube stuff that we're already doing.
Yeah, you jumped the gun on me. One of the resolutions is to further continue building the website. That has proven to be a strong endeavor, and part of that is a newsletter, and continuing to expand and get more consistent content and get more people's ideas out there, publish more content more consistently, whether that's me writing, us writing, more people wanting to share their ideas, more people feeling inspired to share ideas, more people learning that they have access to be able to get their stuff shared and published on the site, and a newsletter is part of that.
Yeah. So then that was yours as well. Okay, newsletter.
That was one of mine. Yeah.
Okay,
that
great.
was
More pre-modern deck techs with deck aficionados is one I've got coming up.
Yeah. I think now that pre-modern LobsterCon sold out in 90 seconds, and pre-modern getting added as under the contraption umbrella of Moto means that more people are just going to be engaged in pre-modern. And so I think that there's just going to be more opportunities to do more pre-modern content and unique ways to engage with that, particularly with a fresh audience that's not quite as entrenched if they're coming at it for the first time, and how much different that gameplay is compared to modern day Magic.
What's your third one?
My third one is to do. I enjoyed and think I got positive feedback on the gameplay, like recap videos. And so one of the resolutions I had for content was I actually have a lot of games on camera through 90s MTG.
Yeah, it's true.
And I have gotten the green light from Chris to
sick. That's awesome.
Get to like take games that I'm on and essentially do my own commentary of like how I'm navigating those games. If that's interesting for people, obviously I want it to be interesting for our Patreon members. It is more often than not me jamming some variation of Miracles or trying out new ideas at the local scene, which is, and the local scene in New York is just a nonstop row of hitters.
Murderer's row. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's really solid testing when like preparing for larger events and really stress testing stuff. So he told me some nuances that we have to do to ensure that like YouTube doesn't flag it as like recycled content.
Yeah.
Which is just like my face being in the corner. That's kind of it. And so it would look like pretty similar to like what we did for the vintage video. But I think that the feedback that I got in the vintage video, people who like, it's polarizing. Not everybody likes that kind of gameplay, but for the players that do and enjoy watching it and enjoy hearing like the intricacies of it, they really, really like it. And I think it's like worthwhile to do like the polarizing content where like the people who are diehards for that type of content really, really enjoy it. I think like feeding them in that regard, since we have access to so much of it, is worthwhile. And now that we have the new format post Entomb and Nadu ban, I don't anticipate them making another change until mid to late 2024 or 2026, barring some like busted thing cracking from one of the new sets. because they're decided to leave Tamio and Ring and all the other stuff. So getting in just more of that gameplay content that people might already be watching on 90s MTG, and then to actually get inside one of the brains at the table, I think would be really engaging, because I like that content when I see other players do it. And so we'll see if that actually works for our listeners.
Yeah. My fourth is to travel to 2 non-local events. So like Buffalo Chicken Dip, or basically like getting out of Philadelphia proper. Unless there's like go to an SCG event, go to a Buffalo Chicken Dip, something like that, something on that level. At least 2 of those this year that aren't Eternal Weekend.
Yeah, that wasn't on my list of resolutions, but it is something that I know we had talked about, and I assumed that we would do. And so, like, I'll happily piggyback on that one, because, I want to do that too.
What's your number 4?
So my number 4 is actually a personal one. Is I realized that with all of the big shifts between in 2025, from moving to getting laid off to like just a bunch of like major life events, that I let my health otherwise dwindle, from like going on tour where I like yo-yoed my weight from like the stress and work of that, to then switching jobs and moving, to then getting laid off, to then doing like, there was just like a lot of action that happened in 2025 as like major shifts in like life chapters. I think I need to like rebound.
Allow yourself to be fat and happy.
Well, I think I need to rebound in a way that like I can get back on the grind in a healthy way.
Yeah,
and so
fair.
I have the classic resolution of getting a little bit of fitness back into my life.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that as well.
And
a
legitimate
little for
fitness
myself
in
too.
that, like, what I want to do is I want to be able to sit at an event, and if somebody takes a picture from the side, I don't wince at myself in the picture.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have the opposite problem of that I do, which is if they take a photo from the top, they just
but that means somebody's got to be over you from behind or whatever and get a bad angle. For me,
no,
it's
but
like
I'm saying when I'm on coverage, I have to make sure that I don't lean in too far.
I have we all have like the
everyone knows their MySpace angles.
Yeah, exactly. The fat kid trauma. Like, I'm trying to not have that become part of who I am, and as we hit middle age, and so
right on.
A classic resolution of get fit.
All right. Like I always tell people, man, I'm not bald. I just get my hair cut this way.
Bro, you got it. That's it. You commit. You commit to the choice.
Anyhow, so number 5 for me, this is my final one. Feature more friends and friends of the format. I think we do a good job of getting out there and doing a pretty good job of featuring people on the show, people that are out there doing work for the format. But I think we can do a better job. So I want to make sure that we're doing more of those. It also, generally when we do a one-on-one interview, Phil or I do a one-on-one interview, it allows the other person to take like a day off, which is kind of nice sometimes. So whenever we have friends on, friends like Anu or Eric Rutkowski, we've had on Rob Wilson, there's tons of folks in the format that we get on somewhat of a rotation. But having more of that, more folks on to get their voice out there. We have a much larger base than I think we did a year ago, and I want to make sure that I'm using that to promote some people that are either have important things to say, either don't have a platform, or people that are working on getting their platform larger. I think that's one of my big resolutions this year, is to like kind of promote some smaller creators as well. What's your final one?
My final one is a little bit more abstract, but it is, whenever we talk about things, I'm so I don't want to say hard-headed, but like narrowed in on like the type of strategies that I like. And I remember that
Phil's gonna start playing Delver, guys. You heard it here first.
I'm still going to play what I enjoy, because that's just like part of the experience.
Of course.
But I found that what I liked was going, like, I've been a student of the game and game theory for a long time. But it was looking back on the episodes that we did this year, like picking like, okay, if we were to look at what are our most enjoyable episodes, I really enjoyed the episodes where I was talking to specialists about other decks and just got to be the student. Because we talk so much theory on our channel, and we're typically talking into a void if we don't have a third person with us talking about a particular strat that can give their input on where they're thinking of from a different POV. And so I really enjoyed the episodes where I just got to like be a student at the desk talking to a master and learn that way. And I want to more often adopt the mindset of being the student, because that's where I find the game to be most engaging and to the most growth as a player and therefore person. And so while I don't necessarily have a measuring stick for that one, it's to try and stay more conscious of be the student more often.
Yeah. Well, that's good. All right. Well, those are our resolutions for this year. Looking back on the previous year, it's wild how much has changed for us. Just looking at like where we were last year and what our goals were with last year and where they are now. I think it's very interesting to see that. Hopefully, people find that interesting. I'm going to make this episode public because I like to make these ones public, even though they're for our Patreon supporters. If you want to support us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/eternaldurdles and do it there. That obviously will help the show. That'll certainly help me with the upgrade equipment part of my New Year's resolution. But with that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting us, and we will catch you in the new year.
And as this is a final send off where this is going public, anybody who knows any outlets that would like to sponsor us, whether it's on our video content or our written content, reach out to us. We are looking to expand and commit really hard in 2026, even harder than we did in 2025, which was already a lot. But Zach and I got that workhorse in us, and
Got that itch.
Yeah, we got that itch. Send anybody you know that would be interested our way, and we'll work out some deets and get everything going and build out even further. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Thanks for watching.